By the recommendation of one of my moderators over on the community Discord, this video is going to be dedicated to investigating Manzanita Post, specifically something about it that just seems somewhat untoward. So here we are in the lovely area of tall trees where Manzanita Post stands. As you can see, it's a community of Norwegian immigrants. So what is the mystery that we're here to unravel? What's going on at Manzanita Post? Or what is the history behind Manzanita Post's existence? Before we get too far ahead, I just want to mention where Manzanita Post is located exactly. It's located in tall trees, a bit west of Blackwater. Obviously, since it's so close to Blackwater, you're going to want to wait until the epilogue to head here, otherwise you're just going to be killed every 5 seconds. But considering that the game came out months ago, you probably already know that. Anyways, on with the show. Now, there are 2 buildings at Manzanita Post in Red Dead Redemption 2. There's a main house and there's a house to the side of it. The main house has 2 entrances, both of which are locked and you cannot access them. So forget that the main building exists, let's head to the side building. They're very friendly, they'll greet you, and they'll let you actually take stuff from their home with no repercussions. Lovely people. By the way, you're out of corned beef. When you enter the house, you'll notice that there's a prompt to inspect a floorboard. And when you inspect it, beneath the floorboard you will find a photograph. A photograph of a family, a couple, and a baby. On the back of the photograph you will find the word Uren, which when I used Google Translate to try to translate it from Norwegian to English, it simply just said Uren. However, according to several Reddit posts, it translates to impure, which is the last word you'd ever use to describe me. I'm inbred. Now, this couple acts completely normal, however, if you approach the chimney and go to inspect it, this will happen.
Whoa there! Please, no! Damn it!
The couple flees the property and I have no idea where they went. According to Reddit user the Next Anubis on the Red Dead Mystery subreddit, when the man runs out the building he yells, "What have I done?" implying he's done something and he feels guilty about it. Well, remember we were searching the chimney, where we found a Norwegian Journal page. For obvious reasons it's written in Norwegian, and it doesn't let me read it, however here is what it looks like. Of course, people super keen on trying to unravel this mystery have translated it. To live with this guilt is not to live. It is a slow and painful death, the very least I deserve. I hate to sleep because their faces are the only thing that I see, and their screams are the only thing that I hear. Father says it was the only alternative, but he becomes more worried every day that passes. He knows, we know, may the Lord forgive us. Obviously this would ring true with the guy running out of this cabin saying, "What have I done?" He must have wrote this as his own way to beg forgiveness from the Lord. Now, what did he do? What happened? And why would he need forgiveness? Well, it's time to get our hands dirty. What? Detective Fizhy just happens to be bad cop. So what? Now, if you loot the woman, there's nothing really of interest on her. However, if you loot the man, there is a scrap of an old Norwegian newspaper. For one reason or another, in my game it didn't spawn, however, here it is. Again, people who are keen on unraveling this mystery have also translated this. Horrible deaths in Lyngdal. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but that is a city in Norway. A man, a woman and a child found beaten and stabbed to death in their home in the forest behind Årstad yesterday morning. It is said the man originally came from Tangier in French North Africa, and the woman was in a religious community that lived on a farm near Korsham. The child was no older than 2 years. The rest of the small community, which according to others in the local community, for the most part, has lived a secluded existence. It has sunk into the ground, and the police urges everyone who has information on the community's whereabouts to get in touch as soon as possible. So a family was murdered, and the entire community in which that family was supposedly a part of just vanished. Or at least they vanished from Norway. Now, if we remember back to the photograph we found under the floorboards inside that cabin, a family of 3, a man, a woman and a child younger than 2 years old, which means that this is more than likely the family that was killed. And on the back it said impure, and considering the woman was a part of a secluded community and the child's father being an outsider, this would definitely apply, which may be why they were killed. Now on to the question, what happened to the community? Where did it go? Well, it vanished from Norway, and as we know, that community has found itself in Manzanita Post. So the entire community fled in light of the murder and moved to America, where they continue to live a relatively secluded lifestyle out here in the woods of tall trees, so that they wouldn't have to face justice for the crime they committed back in Norway. So all of the intriguing stuff actually happened in Norway, but this is the result. Manzanita Post was founded on a murder. which to only come to light in Red Dead Redemption 2, considering this is a location in the first Red Dead Redemption, is very interesting. But then again, a backstory like that would have been interesting anyway. Now, considering this article mentioned that the community was religious, it has caused people to speculate that they were in fact a cult, which would make sense considering that the community was secluded and killed one of their own for producing offspring with an outsider, along with this outsider and their child. It's worth mentioning that you can have an encounter with some guy at a campfire in which he will say this about Manzanita Post.
I stopped by this settlement over in Tall Trees the other week. Manzanita Post. Traded some furs for tools. All Nordic types. Real strange. They tripped over themselves to make me welcome. Right, you know what I'm talking about. All handshakes and smiles. The smiles where the eyes don't join in. And there's an old feller sitting there ranting and raving in whatever language it is. Then I walk around the back and see another feller with his head in his hands and a girl crying. There's something real wrong about the place. Just kinda stuck with me.
So this guy's experience kind of lines up with your experience that you'll have in Manzanita Post if you visit it. It's all smiles, but smiles where the eyes don't join in, which means the hospitality of the locals here, despite whatever good intentions they might have, is still somewhat insincere. He also mentioned that he went round the back and he found a girl crying. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually encounter anything similar when you get here. However, apparently, if you pay attention at night, you can hear a woman screaming. However, when I tried, I couldn't manage to hear anything, so I just assumed that it didn't trigger. However, when doing research, I found that some people have definitely encountered what can be taken as screaming, and it does appear to be coming from the very house that we can enter, in which we find the picture under the floorboards. Which is unsurprising, considering it does appear as if the occupants of this house who were involved in the murder are deeply remorseful, which means that that could just be the woman having nightmares. Or the time of her life, but this guy. But all things considering, I would say nightmares are possible. And if you want to buy into the cult theory, it could be some form of ritual. But somehow I'm doubtful of that, as there's no evidence of any cult rituals taking place, but there is evidence of guilt and remorse. But regardless, that's what's gone on in the past of the locals here in Manzanita Post. They all fled Norway after killing what they considered to be an impure family. They relocated to Manzanita Post in the United States, but they can't fully escape the guilt, which I'd imagine is what explains this. But that is the secret or mystery, if you're feeling dramatic, of Manzanita Post. So this place is much creepier than face value would encourage you to think. Anyways, please do let me know what you think down in the comment section. Is there anything else to the story? What's going on? The moderator over on the Discord who referred me to this mystery did mention that there is a secret door somewhere that he couldn't find. Well, I couldn't find it either. But beyond that, there you go. Anyways, thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon with another video at some point.